Live with CDP Sports Talk, a weekly sports and entertainment podcast sponsored by Barry Cullen Chevrolet. Live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and LinkedIn. And on audio via Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Spotify, Anchor FM, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Radio Public, and TuneIn. Now, here's your host, Chris Palme.
Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody, from Chris Palme. Kidding, Chris Palme here. I'm wishing everyone a happy St. Patrick's Day here on this Monday, March 17th, 2025. Welcome to Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, Season 10, Episode 15, overall 510 of Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, sponsored by Barry Cullen Chevrolet Dealership at 905 Woodlawn Road West in the Guelph Auto Mall. Check out barrycullen.com for the newest selection of new and pre-owned GM vehicles, along with a great selection of all-electric vehicles and Cadillac vehicles as well. You can call them at 519-824-0210. Tell them Chris Palme sent you. And you can email them at info@barrycullen.com. Barry Cullen Chevrolet Dealership has been family run and operated here in the city of Guelph since 1969, and yours truly has been a customer of Barry Cullen Chevrolet since the year 2000. I hope everyone's doing well on this St. Patrick's Day 2025 on this Monday, March 17th, 2025. And I'm looking forward to my guest tonight. This is going to be her second appearance on my show, and her name is Krystal King. She's a Nashville country music recording artist and a radio personality on Sirius XM's Margaritaville radio on the weekends, Saturday and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Eastern. And Krystal's also going to be introducing her first album coming out very soon called Pretty Poison. And we're going to talk a little bit about that and some of her latest music and the latest happenings going on with Sirius XM's Margaritaville. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Hi, happy St. Patrick's Day. I should just go ahead and pinch myself because I failed to wear green to this. I forgot when I was changing clothes.
That's okay.
Green all day.
I find I'm Canadian, and we do some of the bars here do celebrate it, but I find it's more celebrated in the US than it is in Canada.
Okay.
I don't know why. Maybe there's more Irish people living in the States and Canada, but I just don't find as many people make I kind of like it. I like this day.
I mean, I like all holidays, but unless it's Christmas, like I don't go all out. Christmas is the one that I turn into like the crazy holiday lady and dress up and do all the things, but that's the only one.
I guess why I like St. Patrick's Day starts when I was a child. My family would take me to McDonald's and get those shamrock shakes, those mint green milkshakes. So I think that hooked me up on it too. And one of my favorite songs, we brought this up before we went live, was done in 1980 by a band called the Irish Rovers. Wasn't That a Party? So every time I hear that song, I automatically think of St. Patty's Day.
Yeah, or having a green beer, just the traditional. I guess I'm just around people so much that like on other holidays, I'm actually kind of become a homebody. I'm like, no, I don't want to go out. Stay home.
Have you ever been to Chicago for St. Patty's Day? I guess they dye the water all green there in the downtown area.
Cool. No, I've actually never been to Chicago in general. So
it's a fun city. I've been there twice, and there's a lot to see and do there.
That's awesome.
And I have a viewer. He has his own podcast show in Buffalo. His name is Rob Schneider, and he wants to wish you a happy St. Patrick's Day as well. He's one of my biggest fans.
Awesome. You should have me on your podcast too.
Robbie he loves his sports, and he's a really nice guy. And I got to meet him a few weeks ago in Buffalo with his family and stuff So he just loves sports, and he's one of my biggest supporters. So
he doesn't want me on his podcast then, though, because my sports knowledge is very, very limited.
So, but how are you doing? And congratulations on your first album called Pretty Poison that's going to be released on March 28th, and you have a released party going out on March 27th, if I'm
Hmm.
correct.
That is correct. I'm very excited. I'm doing well, thank you. Yeah, just I'm excited and just ready to have this out there because it's kind of been a long time coming. I've been working on this project for a few years now. I think 2020 we moved into our house, and the Dark Horse Student Institute reached out to me about doing some recording. So started planning, and I think we got in the studio like the following like May. Um, Started recording it, and then it kind of was a process just getting it all done. I did it in kind of a hodgepodge way. And then I started releasing it not last year, but the year before with Red Wine and White Lies was the first single in August. And then last year released three more songs from it. And so now it's time to put the full project out there. It's 7 songs, three brand new ones that have never been heard, and the album release party is at a cool spot. It's called the Five Spot in Nashville, East Nashville. So that's March 27th, 6 to 8. So come hang out if you're in this neck of the woods.
For those people that are in that area, what's the best way for them to get tickets? And I believe they're priced at what, $10 for the
Yep,
event?
it's $10. It's on a website called Tune Hatch. But if you follow me on anything like Facebook, Instagram, you'll see my posts. I think on Facebook it's pinned to the top, or my website, krystalkingmusic.com. Just remember it's with a K. And I think I have it like as a pop up to get tickets when you enter my site. So
How excited are you about this? And wanted to ask you this: when you're doing an album, how hard was it to get the name for it? And then how did you go about selecting, obviously, the three brand new songs, but how did you go about picking the other 7 songs or the other 4 songs?
So I picked all of them up front. So like they've all been selected from the get go. Um, so we went into the studio with these 7 songs in mind, and it was definitely difficult picking, but I did kind of have a theme almost. Like I all the songs are kind of relationshipy. There's a cheating song, a murder song, a leaving song, a sad song. So I kind of had that theme going, and that was kind of how I chose the songs, with the exception of Pretty Poison and Jesus in Jail. Those were a little different content wise, but just love those songs, and wanted to put those out. So yeah, so the 7 songs have been picked for a while, and gosh, the name Pretty Poison. The title changed a few times. I couldn't decide which was going to be the title track. Originally, I was going to call it House Fire because of the theme, because I was like, because it's all this relationshipy house domestic things. But then I was like, but that kind of weeds out like Jesus in Jail and Pretty Poison. And eventually I was like, you know what? Pretty Poison. Like I've heard actually some songs that have that title, but at the time I hadn't really heard anything with that. And so I just was like, you know what? I think this one will be cool, and it'll be nice to feature one of the songs that's not a single by titling the album after it.
Is your album, obviously it'll be released on live stream, but is it also going to go into CD form and maybe even to a vinyl record at some point?
So definitely CD. It's actually already on CD, so you can go to my website and you can order that. It is ready to go. I've actually been selling it on CD for a little bit now. But this will be just like the final push where it's out everywhere. And the as far as vinyl goes, I'm not sure. I don't have any plans for that at the moment. Um, I just don't get enough requests for vinyl, and that's actually a lot more expensive just to actually get done. So as of right now, no, but if enough of you come to me and say you want it on vinyl, we can maybe work that out.
Since we talked about CDs, I wanted to ask you this question, Krystal, and get your perspective. Thoughts on the shrinking CD market, and do you think it's still viable going into the future?
I think eventually they will phase out. Just as the older generation gets, that moves up, and the younger people become the older generation, and they'll be used to not having CDs. Cars and laptops don't have CD players anymore. But as of right now, I still feel like I sell quite a few CDs. And I think some people just really appreciate having a physical copy. Um, to have signed, whether they listen to it or not. It's just a cool like memorabilia. So I think I've ordered like 100 CDs at a time. And I've sold 200, and I'm on my third. I've ordered my third set of 100s now, and working through those. So as of right now, CDs are still a go.
I think that's great. The only thing is, I know with the new cars, none of the new cars, and I just bought one myself recently. They no longer have CD players in them, so it's all satellite radio
Yeah.
now. And what's your thought on live streaming and satellite radio that has changed the music industry?
Oh gosh. I mean, it's all of it's had like pros and cons. I think just streaming in general has opened up doors so that the music industry is more accessible to everybody. Anybody can put a song out on Spotify or iTunes. Whether it does well is a different story, but anybody can get their music out there. And I think that's really cool, because before you had to be on a label to even just get your music distributed at all. So I think it's definitely opened up the doors, but with that comes also um, more competition. It's harder to get your voice heard. You have to do more things other than just be good. You have to do things to make yourself stand out among all the people that are pursuing this. And yeah, it takes money to do that. It takes creativity. It takes some luck as well as the talent. So pros and cons. It makes it easier to become an independent artist and do it on your own, but a lot more competition. And these days, you also have to have your own fan base already. You kind of have to come into it, instead of record labels taking you in and fostering you and building you up. They want you to come in already established, and with an audience, and then they can kind of push you from there. So it's just a different industry these days.
I do think the CDs will survive at some point. I also have heard that cassettes are coming back as well.
I'm not sure. I think eventually all of that will kind of phase out. If it does stay, it'll just be more for like the nostalgia, the vintage feel. I don't necessarily think it's gonna have like a revived need for them. But we'll see. It's like parachute pants. Everything comes back around. Big hair. It's
I talked to another musician about a week ago, and I wanted to get your thoughts on this too. They find that the quality of audio on a CD is better than on the live streaming platforms.
yeah, I think it depends. Also, different distributors have different like bit rates that you can upload it. Like I know CD Baby, actually the uploading quality is actually a little lower than on some of the other streaming platforms. So it kind of depends on that. But I think you have the ability to kind of put the best version out on CDs. But then you got to go through speaker quality too. If you got crappy car speakers, you got crappy car speakers. I do. I know. I have terrible ones.
Mine are just basic. I'm happy with what I get with my car, but some people like to spend thousands of dollars on them.
Nah, I don't do that either, which I'm a broke musician, so of course I don't. But
And we have another viewer here. I'm not sure how to pronounce his name, but he says Happy St. Patrick's Day, and he's watching this on Facebook. He also says to say hi to Krystal King.
hi.
So I'm just not sure how to
I
pronounce his
actually
name, but
don't know how to pronounce his name either, but a follower that comments on a lot of my Instagram and Facebook posts.
How much do your fans mean to you? And with our live streaming now, you're not just like in one state, you're really internationally around the world. How much does that mean to you?
Oh, I mean, that's like one of my favorite parts is I love touring. I love just the adventures that come with being on the road. I love meeting the people, seeing the kids and how they light up whenever they see you and they're like, "Oh my gosh, this person's famous. I want to do this." You know, being able to inspire them to dream big. And I like people in general. I can become an introvert sometimes and retreat, but for the most part, I'm very outgoing and I just like meeting people. And I think it's just beautiful how different everybody is and just honoring their quirks and their weirdness. And that's always been a fun thing for me. So the fans are a big reason why I do it. You know, I think I would still probably be singing even if nobody was listening, but having those relationships definitely takes it to the next level and makes all the hard work that much more rewarding. It makes it easier to keep going.
Without getting into politics, um, I find comedy and music nowadays, I think the world needs more of, and I find it's like therapy when you listen to music because it's very powerful and it can bring back memories, sometimes sad, but a lot of times happy memories of situations from your past.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I agree. I mean, my husband have actually been listening to a lot of stand up recently as well. Obviously, like we always enjoy live music and go see live music, but since that our life revolves around music so much, um, we sometimes like to do things outside of that together. And so comedy's been something we've been getting more into, especially him, but he's slowly getting me hooked.
One of my guests tomorrow, her name is Robin Hale. She's from Toronto. She's originally from Montreal. She is a singer, songwriter. She performs jazz, but she's now become a stand up comedian as well.
That's cool. That's awesome.
And I guess she just loves performing in front of people. And I'm sure when you perform in front of live audience, your adrenaline picks right up.
Oh yeah, and I mean, in a way we all kind of are wearing those hats. Like I definitely have some like stand up almost bits in within my show. I mean, I couldn't just do a full hour of stand up comedy. I would be terrible at that. But kind of incorporating comedy, or I'm kind of an awkward person, so like sometimes just owning that and using that for humor's sake is fun. So it definitely seems like a natural transition for someone to do music and comedy, especially if they can kind of interweave those together.
I'm going to put you on the spot here. Who are some of your favorite comedians and thoughts on Saturday Night Live celebrating their 50th year this year?
I'm lame and totally like missed that. I've started watching Saturday Night Live a little bit more recently, but I actually didn't like grow up listening to it. I don't know. I kind of live under a rock to be quite honest with you. But favorite comedians, we actually just went and saw Dusty Slay in Nashville at Zany's. Really like him and Nate Bargatze. Bargatze, that how you say it? He's a Nashville native, and um, Bert Kreischer. I really enjoy some of his some of his stuff, especially the bits about his family and his daughters. So those are probably three of the top ones. Taylor Tomlinson's another one that he introduced me to. So I'm still learning, but those are some of my favorites right now.
Any chance we'll ever see Krystal King on a comedy stand?
No.
No.
No. That's a whole different world. A whole different world. Like why I do some comedy and storytelling in my shows, I don't have any like desire to pursue being a stand-up comedian. Um and yeah, that's a lot. Like you have to memorize that and you're constantly reworking those bits. And like I think music is hard, but can you imagine like being a comedian? Like there's trying to find gigs and also like a lot of them don't pay until you're a certain level. So it'd be like being a musician, but make it 10 times more difficult. So all the respect to stand-up comedians, but nah, I'm good.
I had a guest on about a month ago, and I had no idea about this. Her name's Olivia Lynn. She's a young country music recording artist. She's in the UK, and I guess country music has exploded over in the UK as well.
It has, yeah.
So, what I wanted to ask you this, Krystal, is do you have any plans at some point to perform in Canada or internationally at some point?
Yes, I don't have any like solid plans or like any dates or specifics. But I think eventually it would definitely be something I want to do, and would like to expand, but it just hasn't panned out right yet. And eventually I'll actually sit down and plan that and make it happen. But right now, I've just been kind of enjoying seeing what shows pop up and just going where the work is and where the opportunities are.
Hey, Krystal, I was gonna play one of your songs, "Doggone," that came
Yeah.
out in 2024. I have to ask you this, even though I know you've given me permission because of Facebook and YouTube music copyright laws. Do I have permission to play "Doggone"?
Yes, you do.
Okay, and let me know if you can hear the audio. Okay, I'm the audio guy on this show too. So 1 second. And this is a doggone courtesy of Krystal King's YouTube channel. Please hit the subscribe and like notification.
I've been waiting around this house all day long, keeping it nice for you. I greet you at the door when you get home, just like a good pet would do. All I want is a little more of your attention. I think I deserve a little something, something. All of these dog days, forget your answer bacon. If you leave an open door, I'm gonna take you. I got an itch that needs scratched. I'm gonna dig a hole and I ain't coming back. I want it, I want it. No more talk, just show me the walk. Oh boy, it won't be long till you wake up and I'm a doggone. I bet you think I'm sleeping around all day. I bet you think I got that easy, like always want me with a smile on my face. Didn't feel like a good trophy wife. You've been keeping me on such a short leash, but you doing me right should have been betrayed. No, no. All of these dog days, forget your ass to make it. If you leave an open door, I'm gonna take it. I got an itch that needs scratched. I'm gonna dig a hole and I ain't coming back. I want it, I want it. No more time to show me the why. Oh boy, it won't be long till you wake up and I'm a dog. I'm a dog. I'm tired of doing tricks. You treat me like a dog, but I ain't your bitch. All of these dog days, forget your eggs are making. If you leave an open door, I'm gonna take it. I got an itch that needs scratched. I'm gonna dig a hole and I ain't coming back. I want it, I want it. No more time, just show me the wow. Oh boy, you won't be long till you wake up and I'm a dog. I'm a dog. I'm a dog.
Krystal, thank you so much for letting me share this. And thoughts
Yes.
on this video, Doggone. It had a 70s feel to it, and I love the graphics.
Yes, yes. The photographer was Chelsea Erica Smith, and she does Nash Bash here in Nashville, and she's awesome. And I just asked her to do a few video clips and some visuals, and then we wound up editing it into like a full-fledged music video. That wasn't the intention at first, but she did a great job, crushed it, and just that was a fun song to do in general, and kind of has that bluesy vibe. And Michaela from Michaela's Mutt Motel. It's a shelter here in Nashville. She brought the three doggies that are in the videos out. And so we were trying to kind of promote her and promote her doggies that she had for adoption. And so that was a sweet moment in the video.
That's amazing. And I do volunteer work twice a week at a local humane society as well. So I always tell people adopt and don't shop.
Yes. So if you're in Nashville area or not, go check out Michaela's Mutt Motel. She runs it out of her house. She is actually working on getting a building. But she started out kind of like you, volunteering for shelters. And I think she just kind of was a little disheartened by some of the standards that the dogs have for those for some of the shelters. If they have like aggression or if they have any health issues, she kind of takes in those harder to place dogs, and
Fosters.
takes those in so that she can get them the medical care they need or the training they need, and really works like a lot one-on-one with them. So
The next time you come on, maybe I'll get you to give me their website and I'll promote it on the show.
yeah, that would be fantastic. She would love that.
Hey, and also, Krystal, I'm always looking to do prizes for the Humane Society I'm at, so maybe I can get a signed copy of your CD, maybe to donate to the Humane Society to raffle off as a prize.
Done. Yes. Message me about that afterwards and I'll set it up so I can send you that.
Okay, thanks. What was your
Yeah.
inspiration behind this song, which I really like, and what location did you shoot it at again?
Oh gosh, I can't think of the name off the top of my head. I'll have to relook, but it was a site in Nashville that I found on, I think, like Peerspace or Ave, which basically is like a rental space for photos and videos. So they kind of have it like set up and propped for those shoots. And the inspiration was, my friend Lana came over and we had just got our dog. He passed back in April, but we had gotten our
I'm
dog
sorry.
Bowberry Biscuit. And she came to write and the like week that we got him. So me and her were just like, we were trying to write a song and all we could do was like talk about my dog because he was brand new and he was running around and he was just so happy. And so that was what inspired Doggone. We just kind of kept coming up with these cheesy dog phrases. And we're like, we're not really sure what this song's gonna be about, but this is what we got.
Dogs add so much to your life.
Oh my gosh, she was the absolute best, the sweetest dog. And I've had some good dogs, but that one, he was kind of our soul doggy. He was something else, but sweetest soul I've ever met.
I love old dogs, but one of my favorite breeds is beagles. And one of the shelter ones here, they have an 8-year-old beagle named Mabel who just was adopted, and I'm so happy for it. As much as I'm going to
Oh
miss
yeah.
walking her when I go down there, I'm so happy when they get forever homes. And the shelter here does a really good job making sure they're in the right home with the
Mhm.
right family. And that's really important because
It
dogs are like
is.
kids.
Yeah, yeah. And our dog, it's so funny, like he attached to us instantly and he had a lot of like anxiety. Um and so around other, especially like guys, he would be kind of fearful and like bark at them, but he like knew that me and my husband were his people like instantly. We never had any, he was never afraid of us. He would we'd take him to the vet and he would cling to us. So yeah, it is important for them to find the right people. Do you have a dog?
I did, but he passed away a few years ago from cancer at the age of 15 and a half. So I'm hoping
Wow.
to get a dog again. I have a cat right now, a spoiled Siamese cat named Latte.
Siamese cat. All I can think of is it Lady and the Tramp? Like, we are Siamese.
It's sort of like if I'll send you a picture of Latte. She looks like a grumpy cat.
Yes.
If you know what
That's
the
the
grumpy
best.
cat looks like, yeah.
Mhm.
They're smart too. Like dogs are really smart, but I think cats are just as smart too.
Oh yeah, cats are smart. I didn't grow up with cats. I like cats, but
Yeah.
I was always allergic, so I could never really have any. Um, and so when I go to people's houses that have cats, like I love them, but I'm always like, I don't know. I'm kind of afraid of you because dogs are a little bit more predictable. Cats, I'm like, do you like me, or are you about to scratch me in the face? I'm not sure.
What breed is your dog currently?
Well, he passed back in April of last year. But he was a Labradoodle.
Labradoodle. Okay.
Mhm,
That's
and
the
we
hardest part.
adopted him as well, so
The only hard part about being a pet owner, a cat, dog, or any kind of pet is when it's time for them to pass along. It's like losing your best friend.
yeah, it was rough. It was a rough season last year, and we're still sad and still miss him, but
Well, hopefully you can adopt in the future when you're ready. And I always tell
yes.
people everybody's different. Just take your time, and you never really get over it as well. So
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. I love that you volunteer for the animal shelter. That's cool.
I love doing it, and they're just happy to see it. They don't judge you how much money you have or what you're wearing or what your background is. They're just happy you're coming to walk them, and they love your treats and stuff like that. Unconditional love.
Oh, so true. So true. Oh,
To
no,
get
no,
back
no. Mm.
to get back to that video, where did you get that vehicle from? The car. I thought that was cool.
That was part of the site that we rented for the video.
How
So they kind of
difficult
already had it set up and propped for those types of events and those shoots.
How long did it take for you to shoot the video there at that location?
Oh gosh, we were there 2 to 3 hours, I think. It really wasn't that long. And we did like 4 different outfits for both photos and videos. So Chelsea is fast. And so I appreciate that about her is she can get that stuff done.
Do I have time to play your other song called
Yeah, go for it.
Red Wine and White Lies? And I'm looking forward to listening to this song and getting your story behind this song. Just let me know if you can
Yeah.
hear the audio is okay.
Awesome.
1 second. Again, this is courtesy of Krystal King's YouTube channel. Remember, when you subscribe, it's Krystal with a K, not a C. 1 second. I'm just gonna play
Like the
the video right now.
burgers.
Okay.
It's 8:15. I guess he's coming home late. And if he can't call, then I can't bother saving him a plate. Third time this week. He must think that I'm naive, and I can't wait to hear what excuse he's gonna try to feed me. Pop the cork and pour me a glass. Lord knows this bottle ain't gonna last. Red wine and white lies, don't it go down smooth? Yeah, it's easier to swallow when my glass is always full. Whether it's sweet or bone dry, either one will drown that alibi. So I'm raising my cup and getting drunk tonight on red wine and white lies. Get midnight calls, hiding his phone. Well, I know full well that he ain't talking to his mom, working overtime, or out late drinking with the guys. But there's the stick on his neck, that's a real nice guy. For every lie, I pour a glass into another night of getting trashed on red wine and white lies. Don't it go down smooth? Yeah, it's easier to swallow when my glass is always full. Whether it's sweet or bone dry, either one will drown that alibi. So I'm raising my cup and getting drunk tonight on a red wine and white lies. They say it gets better with age, but tonight I ain't gonna let it go to waste. So pop the cork and tip it back. Baby, you can't kiss my glass. Red wine and wine lies. Don't it go down smooth. Yeah, it's easier to swallow when my glass is always full. Whether it's sweet or bone dry, either one will drown that alibi. So I'm raising my cup and getting drunk tonight. Raising my cup and getting drunk tonight on red wine and white lies. Red wine and white lies.
That was Red Wine and White Lies by Krystal King, courtesy of her YouTube channel. Remember to subscribe. Krystal with a K, not a C.
Like the burgers. Yeah, thanks for sharing that one. Sorry if I was yawning. I promise it's not you. I had a voice lesson like right before this, and a lot of times whenever I have voice lessons, it like opens me up, and then because of that, it causes me to yawn more.
Are your voice lessons daily, I guess, as a musician?
I do it about twice a week, once or twice a week.
Okay, and how long is the process of doing it? Like a half an hour?
It's about an hour. We usually do like 30 minutes of like warm ups and then 30 minutes of just working on music. So
Okay, well, this song, Red Wine and White Lines, what was the inspiration for it, and how did you come up with the name? And if you want to mention some people behind the scenes of it.
yeah. So I was flipping through like a songwriting prompt book. It would give you just different ideas and different writing exercises. And one of the prompts was like red wine and black coffee. And I think I just was like, that's kind of cool. Like thinking about the opposing colors. And so red wine, white lies popped in my head. And I was like, it needs to be a cheating song. So I remember I was walking, I would usually walk every day. And while I would walk, I would come up with different lyrics. But I kept kind of getting stuck. So I brought in my friend Taylor Hughes, and she joined me on the co-write. I think it was like the second song we ever wrote together. And yeah, I was super excited about it. And I didn't think it would be a single. I thought it was just going to be on the album and, it would release with the final project. But once we got all the parts together and the band, it just, that song kind of came to life and had a really cool sound. So we ran with it, and it's a jam. That's kind of just one of those like jam out songs.
How satisfying was it when it got released and had a lot of positive reviews?
Oh gosh, it felt so good because that was also the first song that I released from the full album. So it was really cool. It was kind of a transitionary period too, because um, that sound was a little different than what I'd released previously. Like all my other stuff was like pretty like country, honky tonk. But this one was a little different, and I knew this project was going to be a little different from what I released previously. But I was also very proud of it because I had a hand in literally every piece of this song and this album. So yeah, it's always great when people receive your music well, but that was especially satisfying because I worked really hard on this project.
On average, your songs are usually what, about 3.5 minutes?
Hmm. Yeah, I would say on average that's pretty good. timestamp.
I guess that would be for radio purposes then.
Yeah. So typically, I think for radio, and just what they say changes all the time, but they say like 2 minutes and 30 seconds to like 3 minutes is kind of what you want. Sometimes like three, a little over three is fine. Once you start getting close to 4 minutes, they're like, oh, it's getting long.
For those people that have not had a chance to listen to your music yet, how would you describe yourself as a country music artist?
Yeah, so I think my tagline on my website's like your next door redneck. I feel like I have very quirky writing style. And I kind of write lyrics almost like Loretta does. Like I'm gonna say what I'm thinking. And the sassier or the more out there the better almost. And I know that's kind of what Loretta Lynn was known for, was just like honest raw storytelling or honest, just speaking her mind. So I have that kind of style in writing. I do a lot of storytelling, a lot of imagery. As far as sound goes, I'm still kind of exploring. I grew up in 90s country. But then later in life, I really loved like the Chris Stapleton era church, Ashley McBride's, that kind of fuse the classic country and the 90s country, but they also bring in folk and rock and blues influences. And that's one thing I always have a goal of is I don't, while you do want to have like your staple sound, I also don't want it to be so staple that everything sounds the same, if that makes sense. So I like experimenting and playing with different things, but I think the storytelling, the humor, the imagery, those are all kind of at the core of it.
Quick thoughts on Beyonce going into country music.
I I think her album was good. It was great. But it wasn't country. It was a country influenced album. It definitely had some elements. But it definitely wasn't country. And while I think that's cool, I think every artist has the right to delve and um to try different genres. Uh and even if you don't go full on country, like that's okay. It can still be a really good album with influences of country without being a country album. Um but I think what I've had a hard time with is, um we've mixed genres so much, and I think that's great. But I think when it comes down to like awards and radio play, I do think it kind of is sad that like those artists who aren't country and haven't dedicated their lives to country music, when they steal the spots of true country artists, if that makes sense. Um, and I know it's hard because like music isn't black or white. There's some songs that are definitely country. There's some things that are definitely pop, but there's a lot of in between, and we don't always know where to put them. And those people deserve a spot too. So it's tricky. But I think that's the big thing for me is, um, I think Chris Stapleton actually made a statement. It was like, the artists who have dedicated their lives to being a country music artist deserve to get recognized for that. And somebody like Beyonce, who has such a name for herself and so popular, um, it's hard to see other people lose against that.
Thank you for sharing or your perspective on that, Krystal. And I just wanted to ask you that.
Yeah. I mean, again, super. I love Beyonce. Album was great. Super supportive of people experimenting and trying out different styles and different hats. Post Malone's kind of come into country too, but he actually went more of the country style, where Beyonce didn't, and I think that's kind of cool. It's kind of creative, and she put her own spin on that, um, which is great as an artist. But it is hard. Where do you draw the line when it comes to awards, and radio play? I want people who are bringing authentic country music to the table to still have a space at the table.
How competitive is the music industry, especially country, these days?
Oh, it's very, very competitive. And I don't think there's like not even the such thing as like a superstar anymore. I mean, like there are, like there's Taylor Swift and like, right now in country music, Lainey Wilson, Jelly Roll, those people are huge. Um, but keeping up with the demand of the short attention spans these days, and we're all about cranking out new content, cranking out new music. So to like stay on top and stay relevant these days is hard. Like not only is it hard to get on the radio but hard to get a hit, but to stay relevant is really tricky these days.
Hey, Krystal, do you have time for 5 minutes? 5 more minutes for a couple more quick questions?
Yeah, that's fine.
Because I didn't get this in the last time you came on my show, which was 8 months
Yeah.
ago.
Oh
Eight
my
months
gosh,
ago,
it's been that long.
July, I think it was
Wow.
July 24th, 2024. So it's
Wow.
been 8 months. So I wanted to ask you this. What are some fun facts about Krystal King that your fans might not know about? And tell us a little bit about your role with Radio Margaritaville on Sirius XM. And you're on Saturdays and Sundays from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, 10 to 3. Okay, well, I'm going to jump backwards. I'm going to start with the Radio Margaritaville thing. So I'm an on-air personality for Radio Margaritaville's channel 24 on Sirius XM, and I've been doing that for a little over a year. Currently just on weekends. And I love it. It's so much fun. I did radio in college and had kind of done some internships and stuff. And I wanted to find another opportunity to get my foot back into the radio door, and it just kind of happened very organically. I started touring in Florida with my friend Kirsty Kraus, awesome artist, and we got involved in the trop rock community and like the Parrot Head community, which is a lot of like the Jimmy Buffett fans or that beach music style, which is not really what my music is. Like I do write some of that now. But we just got involved in those communities, and they're just very welcoming. And I met one of the DJs, and next thing I know, like one thing led to another, and it's been the best. Like the Trop Rock Parrot Head community, they are the best fans and just the best hearted, big old hearts. They are just the best people, and yeah, just very grateful that they came into my life, and the radio has been a cool way to connect with them, outside of directly performing, and it's led to a lot of more other opportunities.
I still see a future for the radio industry as well.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, I think it's always going to be evolving. It may not look like it did 10 years ago. But I think it'll broadcasting in some form will continue to thrive. We just will be constantly changing with the times and the technology. So
Through live streaming, which I've been doing now for over 5 years.
that's awesome. That's awesome. But I mean,
It's
even radio DJs, like maybe it's not as popular these days, but can you imagine listening like not having a DJ on Sirius XM? That's what brings the life and the personality to the channel. So
absolutely. And who are some of your favorite radio personalities growing up? And which songs do you like playing a little extra on Margaritaville?
oh, as far as growing up, I loved Paul Shad and Sarah on 96.9 out of Charlotte, North Carolina. So that was like my go-to station growing up. Um, and as far as songs that I like to play, so as a corporate station employee, people don't realize a lot of times like the DJs aren't actually the ones picking the songs. The songs are selected by a program director, and that's with almost all stations, unless they're just internet radio. If they're through any sort of corporation, that's kind of how it works. We have the ability to like put in requests, or I have the ability to put in certain songs here or there. If there's like a fun fact that day or a birthday, I have some leeway there. But for the most part, I don't pick all the songs. But I do love just any fun facts that day that make a song relevant, pulling that in just to personalize my show, or if I can sneak in some local artist or trop rock artist, that's always fun to be able to feature them as well.
And you go into studio for this, right?
Yep. Yep. It's at the Margaritaville Hotel in Nashville in downtown.
Wow. And as for Jimmy Buffett, I know he has a lot of wonderful songs, but as soon as I hear Margaritaville from 1977, it takes me back to being a 5-year-old kid again. It's a
For
timeless
sure.
song.
It is. It is. It's a great song.
And he has such a dedicated following of fans even after his death.
Oh yeah. I mean, it really does take a special person to be able to build the type of community that he built, and have people that literally followed him everywhere. They have parrot clubs and all over the country, and I mean, that's talk about like a legacy. It's really cool. And he gave back a lot, and he promoted fun and escapism, and he's got his fun songs like Fins and Volcano and Cheeseburger in Paradise, Margaritaville, but he also had a lot of like really meaningful songwritery songs. His catalog's just huge. I don't even think I realized how much music he had until I started working for Radio Margaritaville.
If you do perform any of his songs, which one particularly do you enjoy performing the most?
Oh yeah. I really like doing I Will Play for Gumbo. That was just a fun one. I also really enjoy singing Tin Cup Chalice, which is a deeper cut. And then I do Margaritaville and um 5 o'clock somewhere because I'm a big Alan Jackson fan. So those are like
Yes.
two of the ones that are more well known, and then the two of the deeper cuts that I like to perform.
And I do this with all my guests as I wrap up our show. What's one fun fact about Krystal King that your fans might not know about you?
Yeah. I played the flute and was in the color guard in high school band. So the flag twirlers, and I played flute as well.
What was that experience like?
It was fun. Like literally all my friends from high school and college, I pretty much met in band. My husband, I met him in high school band, and yeah, so one time at band camp. That's my life.
Can you tell us about your latest merchandise you like to plug on here, and how important is branding in the music industry in 2025?
Oh, branding is everything in the music industry these days. As far as merch goes, I have CDs, I have T-shirts, I have two different T-shirts. I have the doggone one, which is a picture of my labradoodle, and then the other one it says I'm somewhere between Jesus and jail, and that one comes in like a unisex as well as a women cut V-neck. I sell some like homemade earrings. I have koozies, stickers. I've got all sorts of things. But if you go to my website, you can order any of those goodies.
Count me in for a shirt and one of your CDs.
Perfect.
And
Perfect.
finally, this is my new segment on my show. It's called Ask the Host CDP a Question. Put me on the hot spot.
Ooh, all right. We were talking. I feel like it needs to be dog related because we were talking about dogs earlier. Um, what is like the silliest dog name you've had? Like out of all the dogs you've owned, what's like a
Spooky.
fun? What was it?
Spooky.
Spooky. Yeah, where'd that come
Spooky.
from?
Spooky. I guess back in the late 70s or 80s, there was a group called the Atlanta Rhythm or something, and they had a song
Okay.
called the Spooky. So Spooky was named after a song. And then I've had another dog called Buttercup, and
Aw.
then yeah, and then Casey too. So I would say Spooky would be the most silliest name.
Yeah, that's funny. I've never met a dog named Spooky. That's awesome.
And as for my cat, she was adopted at a local humane society, so she already came to us with the name Latte. So Latte is grumpy, but when she wants food or treats, she can be a sucky baby sweet. I guess like Latte the drink.
I love it. I love it.
So And finally, Krystal, where can my audience follow you on social media, and what's the best way of them contacting you online? And just tell us a little bit of some of your upcoming performances and where people can find you.
Yeah. So social media, I'm on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Krystal King Music for all of those. Just remember it's with a K. You can message me on those, or if you go to my website, you can send me an email. So website's kind of the one-stop shop that you can find the links to everything else, including Spotify, Apple Music, all that, YouTube. Um, Upcoming shows. The next one is the album release party, March 27th at the Five Spot in Nashville. And then also in April, gonna be on the road a lot in April. I've got a couple of shows in Kentucky, at a distillery in Louisville and Frankfurt. I'm doing a festival called Charlotte Shout, full band in Charlotte, North Carolina. And then I'm going to be heading down to Panama City, Florida for the Parrot Head Rendezvous events. And I'll be playing that with Kirsty Krause as a duo. And then we're going to continue on down south to the Key West Songwriters Festival.
Please say hi to Kirsty for me. And
I
she's
will.
and now you've tied her with appearances. She's been on my show twice, and you've been on my show twice. And tonight's my
Nice.
510th episode. And I just want to say thank you so much for coming on here tonight, and for your friendship and support of my show as well. And
That
I
was
really like
fun.
your music, and I'm hoping one day I can see you and Kirsty perform live, because I've never been to a music concert before.
What?
I was supposed to see Billy
Wait,
Joel 5
never?
years ago. I was supposed to see Billy Joel 5 years ago in Buffalo, and then the pandemic came, and then we couldn't get across the border for 2 years during the pandemic. So, and Billy Joel was actually supposed to play in Toronto on this Friday, March 14th, but unfortunately, he had some surgery for a medical issue, so they had to cancel and reschedule until July. And he doesn't need the money, obviously. He's one of my favorite
Yeah.
guys of all time. His music is just timeless as well.
Well, I hope you get to see. We got to make that happen. We got to make that happen
Yes.
for you.
Yes, I definitely would like to see you both perform, and I've been
Yes.
very lucky having a lot of great guests on here. And I want to say thank you for coming on, and continued success. And give me a little bit of time tonight, and I'll send you the video, the audio, and I'll break this into some reels and clips for you as well. And you have an open invite to come back on again in the future.
Thank you. You're awesome. Appreciate you.
Thank you so much, Krystal. Have a good night, and
You
save your voice,
too.
and
Will
enjoy
do.
the rest of your St. Patty's Day.
Thank you. You as well.
I will. Thank you so much, Krystal. Have a good night.
Okay.
That wraps up season 10, episode 15, overall 510 of Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, brought to you by Barry Cullen Chevrolet Dealership at 905 Woodlawn Road West in the Guelph Auto Mall. Speaking of Barry Cullen Chevrolet right now, they have a 2025 Equinox EV electric vehicle, 2LT F Ford, lease from 250 bi-weekly. That's like 125 weekly at 2.9% for 48 months with $3,300 down payment on an ultra low kilometer lease. So if you're looking for a 2025 Equinox EV vehicle, check out barrycullen.com. Barry Cullen Chevrolet Dealership has been a sponsor of Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show for the last 2.5 years, and they're family run and operated here in Guelph since 1969. So more details at barrycullen.com, or pop by the dealership at 905 Woodlawn Road West in the Guelph Auto Mall. And before we wrap up this show, guys, the next Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, again sponsored by barrycullen.com, is going to be on Tuesday, March 18th at 1 p.m. Eastern with my special guest, Robin Hale. She is a songwriter, singer, actor, voiceover artist, and a stand-up comedian from Montreal, Quebec. And she was on the TVO iconic show Today's Special as the XL4 series. So I'm looking forward to having Robin Hale on our show. and Robin Hale. And we're going to speak to her about her career with today's special, which is a big kids show on TVO back in the 80s, and as a singer and songwriter, and she's now a stand-up comedian out of Toronto, Ontario. So Robin Hale tomorrow on Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show at 1 o'clock, and then Wednesday, March 19th, 7 o'clock, I have Melissa Heathers on. She's the author of her own book called Dear Eagle, Dear Heart. And then Thursday at 7:30, I have Jen Evans on. She is a relationship and life coach on as well at 7:30. So I've got 3 more guests, 3 more shows this week. And I want to say thank you to everyone for watching this show live streamed and also on my audio platforms as well. And also, guys, I am on Cameo. If you'd like to book a personalized video from yours truly, CDP, go to cameo.com and type in Chris Palme and book your Cameo today. As we wrap up the show, guys, I wanted to let you guys know I do some volunteer work with the Cambridge and District Humane Society at 1650 Dunbar Road in Cambridge, Ontario. Telephone number 519-623-7722, extension 0, or their website is cambridgehumanesociety.org. If you're looking to adopt a pet, all their pets informations are on cambridgehumanesociety.org. And if you're looking to volunteer like I do twice a week, you can fill out a volunteer application form through their website as well. And they do a quarterly 50-50 draw there for the Cambridge Humane Society. The winner gets half the money and the shelter gets the other half. And I believe their next draw is March 31st. And right now at the Cambridge District Humane Society, if you're in the Guelph, Kitchener-Waterloo, Guelph area, and Cambridge area, they are currently looking for unclumping cat litter. They have a lot of cats down at the Cambridge District Humane Society, and they go through a lot of cat litter. So if you're able to purchase some unclumping cat litter, please drop it off at 1650 Dunbar Road in Cambridge, Ontario, and they will greatly appreciate it as well. And they do have a once a week pet emergency fund too. They're always looking for food from donations from people, as there's some people that are in need of pet food and they can't afford it. So it's called the Pet Emergency Fund. That's done at the Cambridge District Humane Society, I believe, every Wednesday. So if you have some extra pet food, dog food, cat food, whatever, please consider donating it down to the Cambridge District Humane Society, again at 1650 Dunbar Road in Cambridge, or call them at 519-623-7722, extension 0. Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show is live streamed on these platforms: YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, LinkedIn, and now available on Instagram. And make sure you subscribe. You can also check out my website, beacons.ai/Chris D. Palme. Yes, guys, I am back on TikTok. My other account got banned for political reasons. So I am back on TikTok. Type in at Chris Palme or Live with CDP or at Chris Palme and make sure you hit follow. I am back to about 450 followers. So I need another 550 people to follow me so I can go live again on TikTok. With TikTok, you need 1,000 followers. So guys, if you're looking for me on TikTok, at Chris Palme, and make sure you hit follow. I produce a lot of content there as well. StreamYard is the official live stream provider of Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show. If you're into webinars or podcasting, check out StreamYard.com. They have basic plans, paid professional plans like I do. And if you're a business that does a lot of webinars or live streaming events, StreamYard.com, and contact their sales department. And I've been with StreamYard now for 4 years and highly recommend them. Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, the audio versions on these platforms: iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Spotify for podcasters, Apple Podcasts, Breaker, Pocket Casts, Spotify, Castbox, LinkedIn, Pandora, Tuned In, YouTube Music, and Good Pods. And make sure you hit subscribe and like to these audio platforms as well. Finally, guys, you can email the show live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show at cpalme19@gmail.com. Any comments, questions, suggestions, feedback would be greatly appreciated. And if you'd like to tip me for my work, my talk show, my media work, I am on PayPal at cpalme19@gmail.com. And finally, guys, you can follow me on these platforms: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky at Live with CDP19. And also, I'm on my YouTube channel, Chris Palme Live with CDP Talk Show. Please hit the subscribe and like notification. Let's get Chris Palme to 600 subscribers, and I'll have a special gift for that 600 subscriber if you can do that as well. So I'm trying to get my YouTube channel up to 600 and my TikTok page up to 1,000 as well. And that's about it, guys. Again, I want to say thank you to my guest, Krystal King, a Nashville country music recording artist and radio personality with Sirius XM's Margaritaville Radio, for coming on here tonight. And please check her out on social media platforms. And also you can listen to her music on iTunes and Spotify. And you can check out her website, krystalking.com. And she's going to be releasing her new album, Pretty Poison, on March 28th. And her album release party will take place on March 27th. More details on her website as well. And that's about it, guys. Thank you to everyone watching this live streamed or on your audio platforms. And I want to wish everybody a happy St. Patty's Day 2025. Make sure you please drink responsibly and have a green beer for me as well. And we'll see you back here tomorrow at 1 o'clock with Robin Hale. And we're going to talk to her about her stand-up comedian career and a little bit about her singing career, and as well as doing some voiceover work as well. So Robin Hale joins me tomorrow at 1 p.m. for Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, brought to you by Barry Cullen Chevrolet Dealership here in Guelph. I hope everybody has a great night, and we'll see you tomorrow at 1 o'clock for another edition of Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show.